Ever since I was little, I've had a passion for walking. Over the years, I've managed to discover some of the most beautiful and memorable parts of our wonderful country. I've been lucky enough to visit so many magical places, and now I'd love to share them with you. In this series, I'm taking you off to explore some of my favourite walks for all the family. Each one offers a manageable morning or afternoon stroll, gorgeous views, and a well-earned treat of a pub lunch or a picnic. So pull on your boots and join me, Julia Bradbury, on my best walks with a view. Today's walk is a special treat for me because I'm back in the Peak District where I first came rambling as a little girl. It also happens to be the spiritual home of walking, because this wild Pennine moorland holds the secret to why we're now a nation of walkers. And I should know, as this is my old stomping ground, and I've grown up wandering this lush green Edale Valley. So let's head down there to get a flavour of its charm in a welcoming ancient pub that's perfect for walkers. Today's walk has a fantastic start here at the Nag's Head in the delicious Derbyshire village of Edale. I love this classic Peak District village. It's got lovely stone cottages, back lanes and an old-style post office. And dozens of great walking paths, including the official start of the epic Pennine Way. When you head off on Britain's longest trail down the backbone of northern England, the pub gives you a special walker's certificate.
Good luck on your walk. Thank you very much.
I've got a certificate. And when you finish the 268-mile Pennine Way over those big moors up there, you get your certificate stamped at the end point in Scotland.
Don't worry, it's a bit of a cheat. We're only walking the first 5 miles, so no final Pennine Way stamp for me. But the great Kinderscout walk lies ahead. Before we head off, let's look at the route ahead.
Our walk starts in lovely Edale, winds along the gentle valley for a mile before we reach the National Trust Organic Farm at Upper Booth. Next, we head down to the foot of Jacob's Ladder, followed by the steep, satisfying climb to the top of the open moor at Kinder Low. Up high, with marvellous views all around, you can explore Kinderscout, the birthplace of rambling. Then we finish our walk at the giant rock known as Nose Stool, for the final glorious views back down the Edale Valley. A spectacular 4-hour walk. So we're off now, heading down the valley with some great views of the high peaks all around us. Just look at that.
The great joy about this walk is that the first mile or two in the Edale Valley are very gentle and relaxing.
I think this is a great walk for families and people of all ages. There are plenty of options for those who can't face the higher levels or who might just fancy heading back to the pub. But not for us. We are on a walking adventure.
Eventually, we're heading up there.
The walk opens out into a gorgeous green valley with wide open views, and on a day like this, it feels so good to be out here.
Walking in the Edale Valley is a bit like coming home for me because I grew up in nearby Sheffield. And the man who made me the walker I am today is sitting just there. Hi, Dad.
It's none other than my lovely dad, Michael, who brought me here first as a 6-year-old little girl.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does. Well, this is where you started your walking.
And I was always a great walker. Let's be honest.
You were a great walker in one sense and an awkward walker in another sense.
Awkward?
You were a little escapologist, you were. You used to try and run away. But apart from that, you were okay.
You always found me.
Always found you, yes. 40 years later, I'm still regretting it.
Thanks for that. This isn't just a special place for us. This is the spiritual home of walkers across the country.
Well, of course, you're right. Just up there is Kinderscout, and that is the beginning of the great right to roam, the great walking revolution, which then the whole of urban Britain took up with gusto, and ever since has been there. So, wonderful, wonderful place. Magical place, in fact. And as you know, literally millions of people come up here every year and all year as an escape from modern life, the stresses and strains and pollutions of modern life. And really, this is the lung for industrial Britain in the north. And I think it's a such a place, you know, such an event to come here and then catch that.
Right, Dad, I'm going to leave you here, enjoying a peaceful moment. Get on with my walk. I'll see you for a pint at the next head.
You're bye.
Of course. Bye.
You know, it's amazing how, if as a youngster you can experience the great outdoors in gorgeous national parks like this one, those childhood memories of walking can really stick with you. Then later on, as an adult, you relish that chance to get out there again, and walking becomes your escape to freedom.
I've got a lot to thank my dad for showing me all of this. Just look at the beauty of it. And it's all free.
Oh, hello, sheep. I'm about a mile into my walk now, as we turn out of the Edel Valley and down towards Upper Booth Farm.
I'm getting towards the end of the valley, but not the end of the walk, because that's where I'm heading. That's always a lovely sight. Hi. Very well behaved sheep. Yeah, most of the time.
Alice is a shepherdess from her local family farm.
They're very pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, they're quite smart little sheep. Good girl.
It's always a pleasure to watch sheepdogs at work, especially on a misty morning like this.
Lie down now. Down. Lie down, down.
It's a delight to see such timeless country skills. And now I'm heading off to find a very different kind of tradition. Somewhere along here is the home of expert medieval bowl maker Robin Wood, a perfect name for this unique craftsman.
Hi, Robin. Hi. I've been looking forward to meeting you all day. First question, how on earth did you decide that this was your vocation and that this was what you wanted to do?
I read about this guy, George Lely, who was, they all called him the last bowl turner. He was the last person making wooden bowls on a foot-powered pull lathe like this one I'm using. And he died in 1958. And I saw his lathe and his tools at the Museum of English Rural Life at Reading and thought, wow, why is no one doing that? So I've been doing this full-time 20 years this year.
Gosh, how many people are there left making bowls like this in the country?
Well, when I started, there was no one. But since then, I've taught quite a lot of people to do it this way myself. And not only taught directly, but I've uploaded videos to YouTube and people have learnt from that. There are people that have learnt this in Japan, in the States, in Scandinavia, just from watching film of me doing it online.
How lovely. Can I have a go without losing a thumb or a finger?
You can certainly have a go. Can't guarantee you'll not lose a thumb or finger. So now your left hand is going to go kind of across there like that.
Was it that close?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So now you're going to just gradually move the tool in until it touches the wood.
And should it be touching on the corner?
No, just something like that. That's might start to cut.
Might start to cut.
That's looking pretty good.
Might not. I tell you what, Robin, you've got to be fit to do this.
Yeah.
Because this is a proper full-on aerobic workout.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And when you're so skinny, it's such a beautiful feeling when you get a smooth shaving, isn't it?
There you go. You get some really good cuts there, actually. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone pick it up that quick. I'm genuinely surprised. Well done.
Well, Robin, I've really enjoyed myself. I could stay here all day, except I've got a walk to get on with.
Since you made a wooden bowl, do you want to take one with you?
I would love to. Thank
There you go.
very much. Tomorrow morning, muesli.
Well, that was a lovely unexpected treat. That little workout's really got me geared up for what's coming next. The big climb to the top of the moors.
That tiny little rock up there is actually pretty big. It's called No Stool, and in a couple of hours I'm going to be sitting on there looking at the most incredible views of the Edel Valley stretched out below. If I was a crazy fell runner, I'd run up there, but I'm not. I'm just a walker. I'm just about halfway through my Peak District walk now, and I'm heading up there to seek out Kinderscout, which is arguably the birthplace of walking.
I'm getting to the end of the No River Valley now, just a half a mile from the famous old Pennine trading route at Jacob's Ladder. I'm well used to bumping into walkers when I'm out, but if I'm not mistaken, I can hear the clippity-clop of horse hooves behind me.
That's a lovely noise, clippity clop. Hi, afternoon, ladies. Normally I say that to sheep that I meet. Have you been up to the top?
Yes, and if you go all the way up, you can actually join with the Transpennine Trail, which is a long-distance riding route. And from here, it's about a 4-hour round trip, which is entirely off-road, which is fantastic.
How lovely, that must
Yes,
be gorgeous.
It is, provided the weather's good.
Is there anything I should know about these horses? Are they locals?
Well, he's a Welsh cob, but he's come from Cornwall. But
Yeah.
this fellow's a Dalesy pony, and they're the native pony from the Pennines who would have originally been carrying the lead for the miners up the Jaggers trails.
Gosh.
And,
So you've got the worker.
Yeah,
You've got the working
he's a very old boy now, so he's quite steady. Yes.
What do both of you do?
I work for an education charity that helps young people to learn about food and farming in the countryside.
Oh, fantastic.
Right.
And I'm the glamorous end of the world. I'm a surgeon, abdominal surgery. So this is the antidote to the stresses of the NHS. Just get out in the fresh air. And...
Which, of course, you need.
Yes,
You need a
yes.
lot of that.
Yes, that's what I tell them at work.
It was lovely to chat to you.
And to you.
ladies. Enjoy your ride.
Thank you very
Take care.
much.
Bye-bye. This is a boiling hot, gorgeous day. And in this part of the Pennines, a rare treat, as the peaks nearly always have mists or rain blowing across them. But for now, I'm relishing these blue skies. So finally we get to the lovely spot of Jacob's Ladder, which is just before our big ascent up to the moors. It's a great picnic spot, and I've also caught up with my 2 horse riding friends enjoying the moment.
Hello again. This little packhorse bridge right next to Jacob's Ladder harks back to a much tougher era.
This was once the main trading route across these hills, where wool, lead and salt were traded by pony for centuries. I wonder if our horse riders can tell me more about Jacob's Ladder.
The less steep way is to go up the old packhorse trail and round the zigzags, but it does take longer.
No, I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to go for going for the full experience.
Excellent.
Any additions? I've heard a few stories about the name Jacob's Ladder.
Well, Jacob Marshall, who used to live at the now ruined farmhouse just up there, was apparently the person who built this, because he was fed up with doing the massive zigzag dogleg, so this was his direct route to the top.
That confirms what I've heard. So it's him we have to thank for it. Happy walking. Don't rest
Bye.
too long.
Bye.
These steps are really the only big challenge in our walk, and the secret is to take them at your own pace.
Now, I'm a bit of a mountain goat, and it is quite steep. But it's not a race, so just remember the words of the great fell walker, Alfred Wainwright. Put one foot in front of the other, and you can't go wrong.
As you get higher, you start to feel the cooler air of the Pennine moors.
You know what I mentioned earlier, the gentle relaxing bit of the walk? It's got a bit tougher now. And there's some mist rolling in as well.
But before too long, you find yourself close to the wide open moors, and the entire landscape begins to change. As I arrive at Kinderlow, I appreciate how wild and exposed these Pennine moors can be, and what a real hazard this rolling mist brings with it. Turns out that the Edale Mountain Rescue Team is one of the busiest in Britain.
Hello?
Freddie and John and their 50 volunteer rescuers deal with an average of almost 3 incidents every week on these moors. But today, they're just on a dog rescue training exercise.
It's gorgeous down there, and it literally has, the mist has just come in. I tell people all the time that this happens, and they go, oh, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
But it really,
Yes,
really
it
does. What's the most common mistake that people make, do you think, when they're out here?
People easily get sort of misjudge the weather. People have accidents. It's just sometimes circumstances, combination of circumstances that mean they get into difficulty.
Like weather, like this.
Yeah, I know. You can leave the valley and it's lovely and sunny, and you're in thick fog. It can be vice versa.
Who's the pooch?
Oh, this is Flash.
Flash?
One of our search dogs.
And how long have you been working with Flash?
Oh, Splash is 8 now, and I've been working with her since she was a year old.
And what does work involve for her? What do you have to do to set up an exercise like this?
We set up something similar to what we've got here. We'll put a casualty out in the moor, and then we'll work the dog to come and find her.
She'll come back to us and bark, and then lead us into where she's found the missing person.
So it really is like Lassie. So show me how it works.
Fine. Okay, that's fine. We can do that.
Fine, Imp.
Unbeknownst to Flash, I already know where the volunteer is lying.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Are you right?
Yes, I'm fine.
I've been told to lay still. I'm hoping the dogs won't be too long.
Go on, find him out!
And in no time at all, Flash sniffs us out.
Good girl, what you got?
Flash by name, Flash by nature.
Fantastic. Well done, Flash.
Good girl, what you got?
It is absolutely amazing. Do you feel nice and safe now?
Yes, thanks, yeah.
Job very, very well done. Amazing.
Thanks, Flash. Always there when you need her. Now that mist has gone as quickly as it came. Those chunky boulders up there are so typical of the Peak District landscape. And for me, they're another nostalgic trip back to my childhood.
Oh, this reminds me of rock lovins I used to have with my dad when we'd come up to the moors together. These dark, dramatic rocks just jutting out of the landscape. So beautiful. From the valley, this area looks like a peak, but actually it's this massive sprawling plateau covered in this gorgeous dark brown bouncy peat. And Kinderscout is somewhere in that direction.
It can be a bit of a struggle to find the actual Kinderscout high point, especially in mist or rain. But sure enough, after 3.5 hours walking, there it is.
I know that this is the Kinderscout Plateau, because this is the official trig point, 633 feet above sea level. Over in that direction, Manchester, but more importantly, over there, about 20 miles away, my old school, my old house, my childhood, Sheffield. If you're a walker, a pilgrimage spot's an absolute must in your walking history. Good job we got here first. There's a bit of a rush hour on.
So I better not hog the high spot, as the walkers are literally queuing up to get on here. Now I want to explain some more about why this is such an iconic spot. It was here in 1932 that the Great Mass Trespass changed the course of walking history. Across this moor, about 400 ordinary walkers from Manchester and Sheffield scuffled with gamekeepers and police in a protest against limited access to the countryside. In a standoff with landowners who wanted to keep this land private for grouse shooting, 5 walkers were arrested and jailed for 6 months. The national outrage was so great that the walkers were released. That one day of mass protest, right here, opened the floodgates over the next decades to give land access to the walking public, leading to the creation of our first ever national park, right here in 1951, the Peak District National Park.
And that all happened just here, over 80 years ago. That right to roam protest is why Britain has so many public footpaths. It's an amazing story of how we became this nation of walkers.
But this isn't where my walk ends. To get there takes us past these amazing magical rocks which inspired our great sculptor Henry Moore, who often came wandering up here.
That could be a Henry Moore sculpture, couldn't it? But it isn't. It's no stool, and it's the end of my walk. Woohoo! Hello, No. The end of this little beauty. Oh, just take a look at that. Oh, this walk has got such a special place in my heart. It's so full of history and character and beauty. And of course, for me, it's just full of happy childhood memories. But for the millions of other walkers out there, this is a real hike of honour. It's a salute to the movement that's all about the freedom to roam.
And what a glorious day's roaming. For sheer refreshment of mind and spirit, this is pretty hard to beat. And just down the valley, a rewarding treat awaits me.
It's back to the Nag's Head for a pie and a pint with my long-suffering dad. Cheers, Daddy-O.
Cheers, my love.
That's how you end a walk.
Now, how about this pie?
Gravy.